That's Hugh Jackman in the background. I'm honoring him for saving my husband, Brent Spiner. Thank you, Hugh, for being such a macho guy. And thank you, Brent, for being so macho, too, for fighting for me with your life. I'm going to read an email that I received from Brent. I'm so proud of the men on my marriage list. They're so macho. I'm so proud of them. Brent wrote me an email September 19, 2011. My wife. Oh, my dear, I have been having quite a time dealing with my clone in these past ensuing days after the trial. You can watch my earlier YouTube videos about the trial that we had against Laurie McBride. Now that he and I have met, and I have at this point executed several of his wives, do all of the Laurie, he's referring to Laurie McBride, do all of the Laurie clones still count as one wife for him? He's been increasingly more obsessed with stalking me. I admit I do find it fairly unnerving to be stalked by someone who looks to be in my own spitting image. These Jesuits are experts at psychological warfare. You told me not to write you from this email unless there was an emergency. Well, there was an emergency earlier that I believe I should share with you. An averted emergency, mind you, but an excuse to write you nonetheless. Aren't I cute? Anyway, I digress. I was upstairs trying to figure out how to fix my computer when a nostalgic chime reverberated through my windows. I pulled back the curtains to see an old-fashioned ice cream truck rolling down my street. You might say I've been feeling reborn as of late. He accepted Christ as his Savior. And the child inside me told me to stop and smell the roses and go get some ice cream. All the more love handles for you to grasp, am I right? So I dashed down the street and go to meet the ice cream man. I, of course, let the children go before me. And when I reach the window, I make my request for a Superman ice cream waffle cone. The ice cream man returns to the window, and my heart stops. I was looking into the face of my own clone. It was a surreal, bizarre scene, something akin to Data meeting Lore. His lips parted in a ghastly grin, and he said, "1 scoop or 2." That was when I knew it was on. He dove through the window. I dropped to the ground and did a barrel roll to get out of the way. What transpired next was a mad chase around the ice cream truck in the middle of the street. Let me replay Hugh Jackman. I'm honoring Hugh, so I want to hear him again. Let's hear Hugh Jackman again. Hugh saved my Brent's life, and I'm proud of him.
This year, in special recognition of Stephen Sondheim on his 75th birthday, the tradition continues with somewhere.
He dove through the window. I dropped to the ground and did a barrel roll to get out of the way. What transpired next was a mad chase around the ice cream truck in the middle of the street. You would think someone around us would call the police, but eerily enough, it seems as though the entire street went silent. I was left to fight with my own 2 fists. With God at my side, I knew I couldn't lose, and I trusted in his power as I took on my ultimate rival, which was ironically myself, yes? My clone was apparently taught parkour, P-A-R-K-O-U-R, and the next thing I know, he had vaulted onto the vehicle, and then onto me, pinning my rough old bones into the dusty asphalt. My clone's demonic eyes bored down into mine as he removed a knife. He asked me if I had any last requests. Trusting God, I said a prayer. My prayers were answered. A shadow swept over us. I heard the cold click of a gun and smelled an overwhelming odor of testosterone as the butt of a .40 was pressed against my clone's occipital. A familiar voice responded, 1 waffle cone with extra nuts and 2 scoops of whoop ass. My ears popped and the entire scene went silent. In retrospect, I knew it was the blasting sound of the bullet as it left the gun that caused this. My own adrenaline, too, for sure. As if in slow motion, black and white, I watched the eyes of my clone slowly deaden as the shards of skull and brains blew out behind him, whilst he simultaneously spewed bits of teeth, saliva, and gunpowder. Some of it got on my face. I heard a slow, deep, slow-motion grunt as his body then slowly rocked to the side and collapsed in a heap onto the hot concrete, a thickening pool of blood expanding outwardly around him. Brent, you are a good writer. Look how descriptive he is. You say he's making all this up, folks? I don't think so. The Jesuits are obsessed with Brent. Now let's get back to his letter. My eyes and ears returned to normal, and I gazed up into the silhouette of none other than Hugh Jackman. He grinned and extended his big manly paw to me, hoisting me off the ground. I thanked him tremendously for once again saving my life. I asked him how he knew where I was, and he said he had been waiting in the back of the ice cream freezer the entire time. It turns out the Jesuits were planning on using satellite radio manipulation to lure me to the ice cream truck via the siren. No wonder I was having such a strange craving for childhood nostalgia. Vladimir and associates got wind of this just in time and assigned Hugh Jackman to the scene, knowing that his manliness far surpassed that of my half-baked Jesuit imposter. After buying Hugh a round of drinks, I rushed right home, and wouldn't you know it, my computer had somehow been fixed. Coincidence? I eagerly opened up my email and began writing this letter to you. You must think me crazy, my dear. I know this story sounds hard to believe. I swear on my love for you it is true, and that I am not insane. Now that my clone has been eliminated, at least the most advanced one, I am feeling a little bit safer in my own skin. That's you in the background. I'm so proud of manly Hugh Jackman. Manly Hugh Jackman saved my Brent's life again. This is the second time, and he ought to get a gold medal. Back to this.
Year, in special recognition of Stephen Sondheim on his 75th birthday, the tradition.
Now that my clone has been eliminated, at least the most advanced one, I'm feeling a little bit safer in my own skin. I have God and Hugh Jackman on my side, and I am not afraid of anything. I am especially not afraid of loving you. If they think they can intimidate us into staying further apart, well, we'll make an example out of them, won't we? I know you have published our current correspondences into a book. That is wonderful. You might inform your followers that a season 2 of sorts has begun, as this story isn't finished any more than I am, and I'm informing them with this YouTube video. Oh yes, and I must tell you about the new transporter technology that I've been carefully alluding to on my Twitter. I obviously can't be too forward with the public on there, so do take my tweets with a grain of salt. I will save further elaboration for another day, however. There is much work to be done, as well as I feel I've either shocked or bored you to tears by now, my love. Thank you for being so wonderful. I adore you, my Catherine the Great. As always, your husband, Brent Spiner. Thank you, Hugh Jackman. You're my macho hero. Thank you for saving Brent's life the second time. This is the second time Hugh Jackman's done this. Hugh Jackman, you're awesome. You're manly and macho, and I'm proud of all the men on my marriage list. I'm proud of Vladimir Putin because he's the one who assigned Hugh Jackman to the scene. Vladimir Putin, you're macho, manly, red-blooded. I adore you. Hugh Jackman, you're a real man. I adore you. And Brent Spiner, you're the manliest of them all. You had the courage to contact me through this YouTube channel and through the email. All my guys are red-blooded males, and I'm proud of you men. You make me so proud. You're so manly and passionate and heroic. So I'm making this YouTube video right now to especially honor Hugh Jackman, who is my hero right now for saving Brent Spiner's life again. And you need to go through my website. But Hugh Jackman saved Brent Spiner's life earlier. That was in, I think it was 2010, was it? Yeah, I think it was September 2010. I was doing it again. Awesome. I have the best men.